I'm just turning on the recorder, so. Let's see, the first one is number 21.
Chip, what about the renewals
You want to do
for
those first? Yeah, maybe we can do
just
those first.
there was like three renewals and one new filer.
Right.
So
All right, I'll take these are deferrals. All right, for people who want to defer their taxes. And this first one's has a tag on it, says new filer.
that's the last one you've been the
So
pile.
I was gonna do that one first because the other ones are
Okay.
pretty much
Okay.
slam dunks. You got it?
Yeah,
No, they look like these. These are applications to defer their taxes.
but it has this page on the front of it.
No.
Oh, sorry, hold on.
It's the first pile, Artie. There's like 4 of them before the actual abatements start.
Yeah, they got no numbers in the upper right corner.
Oh, new filer, sorry.
Yeah,
I
okay.
found it.
And what she's doing is just filing to defer taxes. And Nancy, she has to meet certain requirements. And Nancy goes through those. And you can see on the second page that the income is $32,000. And the max is 51, so she's well under that. And she basically is just, gonna defer taxes, and when the property gets sold, it gets paid off. And that's really all we need from her, as long as she's under the income. And the last page of it is her, her taxable income is 28,000. So she's got 28,000 in taxable income and $32,000 in assets, so she qualifies as far as that goes.
Yeah,
I'd say I'd move to grant.
Grant,
Okay. The next 3 are renewals. And the first one I'm taking is, let's see. It's 193 Evelyn Road.
So her income's 22,000.
Yep, so she qualifies there. And she's already been on the program.
Yeah,
And you can see her taxable income is $234. So, she's,
move to grant. Is that what we're doing? We're just granting?
yes,
just how to, where, oh, 234 is where.
193 Evelyn Road.
Taxable income?
Right?
Taxable income, I just want to get familiar with these a little.
Yeah. the
234,
The taxable income is 251, actually.
okay. Gotcha.
And you can see all she gets is Social Security for 22,000 on the second page.
All right, Grant,
Third one is,
and lo and behold, it's Grant Street. Sorry.
yes. So that one should be a slam dunk. Again, this is a renewal. She's been on the program previously.
Can I ask you something? Why
Yeah.
is it's a taxable income, isn't she over? Just out of curiosity, it says 69.5, is that right?
69.
Last page.
Yeah, I'm looking. Okay, if you look at the second page, that 40,700 is paying off a mortgage. Let me just check with Nancy on her. Hold on one second. Take a peek at the last one. Okay, I got it. That 40,700 is a payout from a reverse mortgage she has. So it's not real income. She did house repairs and that kind of stuff.
Okay,
So she's basically, that's her own money.
all right. Grant,
Vote to grant.
Okay, and 40 Livingston Circle is another renewal. And again, she's been on the program for a while. Her income is 35,000, so she's good as far as that goes because it's 51. And again, it's a
Grant.
renewal.
second,
Okay, I'm just checking my phone here to see if Barry got back to me. No response. Okay. We are on to application number 21. And I've got this down for granted. Basically because we're deleting the finished basement. What happened was it was a tear down a couple of years ago that had, the tear down had 440 square feet of finished basement. When they tore it down and built the new house, they didn't finish any of the basement, but we didn't take out the 442 square feet when we got rid of the old property.
okay,
And even at the time, the 404, I had marked it down when I was there in 1996 as poor to fair condition anyway. But, you know, when they tore the house down, obviously the finished basement went with it.
When you wrote down studded walls, is that, they
That's,
they have
notes
studded
from my
walls in
19
the house?
that's note, that's Marie's notes from her visit there. And so when she went
They
to look,
haven't, they haven't sheet rock, they haven't done anything, there's no,
no, there's nothing there.
okay.
So
So I vote
basically-
for grant,
What I'm doing is taking off the finished basement that shouldn't have been there in the first place.
okay.
Are
I'll
you
make a
all right
motion
with
to
that one?
grant.
yeah, Grant,
Okay. Number 22. This is pretty simple. They filed a form of list with us under one name. They filed the town clerk under another name. And so we basically had the same information from what looked like two different businesses, but it was really only one business. So we're basically just abating the entire thing for one of the duplicate business.
When they were both done, did they both have the same amount of value?
Yeah,
Just out
if
of curiosity.
you look at the bottom of the abatement application, it's a duplicate bill.
Oh, okay, okay. So,
And Marie talked to her and, you know, it was just a mistake. She filed with Teddy, so we followed up on it. And she filed the form of list under a different name, so we had two of the same thing.
I move to grant.
Grant,
Okay. We're on to number 23. And this is another one of the ones from the apartment or the condos at Greendale Avenue. And we got a bunch of them. You've seen them before. I'm sorry about how small that list of comps is on page 2. But you can see that there's the ones in red are a whole bunch of sales. And they certainly justify the 15% increase across the board for that size condo in that unit or in that complex. This is one of the smaller units. And people were paying big bucks for them, and you know, I increased them 15%, which is the max that I'll go in any one year. But you know, there's just the market is what it is.
I looked at the sale from 9/24/20, because all the sales are based on 2020. Correct?
Correct. Not all. Well, for condos, I use 3 years because it kind of rounds it out. Because if I just use the most recent year, they'd really get killed.
Right, so that, the sale in September 24th, 2020
Oh, I'm
was
sorry.
315,000. And the square footage is 891. So that's the key comparable, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And she's at 241.6.
she is at 241.6.
Yeah, so
Where's square footage? I can't find it.
It is in right about the middle column, says living area at the top,
Oh, sorry, yeah, I got you.
right about the middle of the sheet there.
So what were you saying, Stanley? That's 891, and what's
yeah,
hers?
hers is 894. She's assessed at 241.6. And there was a sale on 9/24/2020 for 315,000.
So it's basically the same unit.
What about 6/3/21? That's at 264, and that's significantly bigger, no?
Right, that has the 1,039 square feet.
Yeah, I
So
don't,
what did she assess that?
what?
What did she assess that again?
241.
She's at 241.
Hmm.
And you got the
Yeah.
June 21st, 2021 sale for 317. And the 2019 sale for 225. See, these things went up pretty dramatically in the last couple of years.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I vote to deny. I'll make a motion to deny.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
with that one-
these condos, Chip, are gonna go up again next year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, when it's all the data's put in.
Yeah,
is
because
that
I
the
mean,
one
I'm
next
looking,
to the nursing home, the huge complex?
no,
This
no.
is
it's,
across from
um,
St.
it's
Sebastian's.
St.
Oh, yeah,
Sebastian.
yeah, across from the skating rink.
Yeah,
There's two complexes up there. One is called Hamlin Lane, which is much smaller, not as nice. And I assume these Greendale Avenue were garden apartments at one point that got condoized a long time ago.
yep.
But they used to bounce up and down. Now they just keep bouncing up. I mean, it's a great place for somebody to downsize who's selling their house. So you guys set with that one?
Yeah. Deny.
Second,
Okay, we're moving on to number 24, which is in the same complex. It's just a larger unit. And you note at the bottom that they tell me they're in their 80s, but I guess Nancy discussed any kind of exemptions with their daughter, who said they had too much in assets. Normally, if we see that somebody says they're older, we'll send them the information, on exemptions, which is certainly going to get them, a lot more relief than an abatement would. And in this particular case, again, if you look at the comp sheets, the second page, everything in that size group went up by 7%. And there's, a whole load of sales to back it up.
the only question I had, Chip, was the 11/19/2020 sale. And it's
Let me-
assessed at 305. And the square footage is 1,455 square feet. I could see the other ones, like the sale from the best comp was 8/4/2020, I thought.
Well, I think the hint on the one you're talking about, if you go over to the column that says miscellaneous structure on top,
Okay,
and it says kitchen/bath 2021, and they put 60,000 into it.
oh, so that's not accounted for in the assessment?
Right, and it means it was probably not in great shape. If they had to buy it and dump 60 grand into it, because they bought it in late 20, and in 2021, they pulled a permit to
Oh, so that's not accounted for in them, okay,
do some serious rehab. I mean, that
Yep.
kind of accounts for the low sale price.
okay. So the best comp is at 8/4/2020, I think. And that's more than their assessment. And it's like 12 more square feet.
And it's $90,000 bigger assessment. Yeah, I mean, you got the 31120 as well. Up near the first one. Which is,
I need my magnifying glass to look at
yeah,
that.
I know, but I can't send you 11 by 17.
I know.
Can't run those through the copier. I do have
Artie,
bigger copies to send to them. See, I have a big print, one that I'll send to the taxpayers so they can read it.
Artie, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I move to deny. I
I'll
think
second it.
proof's in the pudding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we are at number 27. Now, did you guys have a chance to read this? Okay, because it's, I'll describe it to you quickly. You know where Tower Road is, right? And Tower Road and Hoover Road,
Yep.
it's like one of the highest points in town.
Yep, by the water tower.
Right, beyond the water tower. On the water tower's on Hoover Road. And then it keeps going up to the top where it meets the top of Tower Road. And this guy lives a little bit down the hill on Hoover Road. And he is upset that, you know, his property is wet. And he's blaming it on, it's not new construction, but it was a major rehab in the house next to him that he felt that the water started flowing when they started rehabbing the house. But, you know, I talked to the building inspector. There's a letter in here from the building inspector that they, the letter is page 7. We spent a lot of time going back and forth with the owner, and everything was done by the book. And if anything, the water had always flowed down onto his property. The rehab made it better because they put up a huge retaining wall with all kinds of drains and everything else. And I guess the owner decided this was the time to try and get a discount on his property. But it's, you know, it's always been wet. The pictures he sent me, you probably can't even see them. I can't tell what they are, but that was what he submitted with his application. And I mean, Nancy went out and looked at the place, and you know, he's got a little rot on his garage, but it's not like if anything, the rehab project next to him that he's blaming it on made it better rather than worse. So it's always
Foundational water, like in the basement? He said,
not as far as I know. It's just, you know, kind of flows into his yard. I don't know where he came up with. He says on the bottom middle of the application that he's requesting a 50% reduction. And I don't know where that came from. You know,
yeah,
Nancy went out and looked at it and didn't measure any of the land or anything like that, but you know, just made a note that he had, when it was wet, he gets some water around his garage.
Chip, and Artie, I gotta go with what Dave Roach says. And I mean, everything's seems to be by the book. And then looking at previous assessments, he didn't change. He's down from 2020. 2020, he was assessed at 693.4. And for 22, he's at 678.9.
yeah.
I make a motion to deny.
Yeah, I'm with you. Deny.
Okay, we are on to number 28. This is a condominium. And he is using as his comparable sale a two-family home that, you know, doesn't really jive. And what I looked at is there's a sale of a condo basically right next to him. It sold for 530,000. We have him assessed at 515. And the condo that sold for 530 has no finished basement, and he has 450 square feet of finished basement. So, you know, again, I sent him, did I give you guys the small spreadsheet? I may not have. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Page 3. Those-
Yeah.
Those two condos are highlighted there. The one in green is the person who filed. The one in red is the person who just bought the condo with no finished basement for 530. Basically the same unit, except that the assessment with a 515 includes a finished basement of 430 square feet, which the guy who just paid 530 doesn't have.
That was a note that I have. It should have been assessed higher because he's got the 450 square feet of finished basement. Those used to be two-family houses.
They used to be, and I guess the one he's using as a comp is the one that's left. It's still a two-family. But the way I look at two families now is that all they're worth is their value is in the tear down. You know,
Yeah.
what it's going to be for land, because we have actual two families that don't happen to be brand new, and there's almost none of them. We have them all discounted at a 35% discount on the building,
Okay,
because it's basically obsolete and is going to be torn down for two condos at some point.
I make a motion to deny.
I second that.
Okay, just checking for Barry again on my phone here. Let's see. Nope, no response. He must have forgotten. Okay, we are at number 29. And if you remember from the deferrals that we just looked at, this person also defers their taxes. She doesn't really give us any information as to why the value should be reduced, except from her letter on page 2. And what I did was I looked at land sales alone in that neighborhood. And you can see the neighborhood is 305-1. Okay, in the lower left, you'll see that the median land sale price in that neighborhood is $852,000. The total value of her assessment, you see, total assessed value is 923. So, I mean, the land alone is worth practically the entire assessment on the property. I went beyond that to look at some comparable sales, all of which are in different land neighborhoods, cheaper land neighborhoods than this property is in. And you can see that their land values are much lower, but their assessed values are, you know, in the range of her assessed value. But if you go to the far right, the sale prices of those properties all dramatically exceed the assessed value we have on that property. So it's, you know, it seems pretty obvious that the assessment is more than fair, if not low.
Even the least expensive assessed value on the sale from 41720, that was 995, and that was a little less than her square footage.
Yeah, and
I agree with what you said. All those 2020 sales, all the assessments are higher, and I think it's a fair assessment for that neighborhood.
yeah, I mean, we're talking, Art, do you know where that neighborhood is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right next to the golf course.
Yep.
So it's a little more
Very
desirable
nice
than,
neighborhood.
right?
That's a very nice neighborhood.
It is. I mean, lots are selling for $1 million, $1.2 million over there for tear downs recently, so.
Mhm.
And again, she defers the taxes to begin with.
Right. Move to deny.
I'll second that.
Okay, we are at number 32. And this one is kind of interesting. It sold for $1,250,000 in May of 2020. We've got it at $1,212,000. And I ran some comps. You know, the reason it jumped probably is because we did a sales review after it sold and upgraded the property. And you can see the permits that it's had over the years of 2004, 180,000, 2008, 65,000, and 2014, 157,000. So what I did was on page, well, I show all the permits on page 8. And, you know, all that work on the property is probably the reason that they paid $1,250,000 for it. And if you go to the last page, page 9, the comparable sales are pretty telling as well. Discounting one of them, which is a land sale. I didn't realize that when I was running it. 93 South Street sold for $1,300,000, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be a tear down because it's on a corner and they can make it into 2 lots. But in the far right column in green, you can see that the sale prices, you know, are equal to or exceed what he paid for his. And the, you know, the living areas are all pretty similar. The effective year builds are pretty similar. So there's, you know, the market says that, you know, our value of $1,212,000 is pretty good.
I agree with that, Chip. I looked at the 3 sales from 2020 and they're all higher. Their assessment's all higher than the $1,212,000. And the note that I made was what you were talking about. They purchased it for $1,250,000.
Hang
And
on
you're
one second. I got
you're
Barry
assessed
calling me
less.
here. Hello? Yes, how you doing? Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. You just got on? All right, I just let you in. All right.
I vote to deny this one.
Art,
Second that.
okay, Barry's coming on, so,
I can join for the next one. Sorry, guys. I had child drop off duties and then
No
couldn't
problem.
find this link.
How's it going?
Good.
Hi, Barry.
Too late.
all
Hey,
righty. We are at, you got your pile there?
I do.
Okay, we're at number 33. Geez, he
Okay.
gets here just in time for the granted.
This
I'm
is
in that kind of
awesome.
mood. You know what? The Celtics made Kyrie look bad yesterday. I'm in the mood to grant.
Okay, this particular one. Bottom line is the bath count was incorrect. She's got some other stuff, you know, she asked about the bath, and then she asks about some land that she thinks she's being assessed for that the town owns. But if you take a look toward the end, I'm trying
It's
to
in
find the
Wellesley.
page. If you go to page 7, she's 43 Cornell Road. And the land she has water, that light blue line running through the property is, you know, it's water of some kind of stream, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
And it's at the very, very edge of her property. And you can see from, if you flip back to page 6, that part of the land is residual land that's valued at $3 a foot anyway. So it's, It's not part of a prime lot. It's nowhere near the prime lot. And you also see 0 Grove Street, which is owned by the town. That has some wetlands in it, but that's, again, she's not paying taxes on that. That's a separate parcel that you see on page 7. And you see the stream on page 8 too. Sorry, I forgot I put it in 2 places. So, I mean, the bathroom is, the bathroom count is one thing. We can definitely adjust that. But as far as the, the issues with the land, I really don't see one.
I make a motion to grant.
Grant with an adjustment to the bathroom, right?
Right.
Right,
That's,
so it's a limited grant. Yeah, I join.
okay.
Got it.
All right, we are back to number 34. And this one is pretty simple. They gave me one comp and didn't realize when they were looking at the comp, you look at page 3, where I've got it highlighted, they're talking about disproportionate assessment that 458 or 548 Chestnut Street is assessed at 417,000. That's actually assessed at 681,000 because the 417,000 is the land only. If you go to the next 2 pages, you'll see the land highlighted at 426 for the person who filed. And on page 6, you will see the land for 417 highlighted for the comp. So I'm not sure where they came up with the 417, but that's not the value they should be comparing it with. It should be 681 versus 650 for the filer. So I just don't see anything there. They made a mistake.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to deny.
Seconded.
Are you good?
Yeah, I said.
We are number 35. This one's a little
This is
more
our call.
complicated. What?
This is our call. We have to, you're leaving it up to us to make a decision on this.
Well, it's your decision anyway, but I'm just,
Yeah,
it got so convoluted in trying to track down all the comps they gave me. I'll just run through what I found in the comps. Okay, first of all, the house was bought by a contractor, I guess, and they pulled a permit for 110,000. They bought it for 850, pulled a permit for 110,000. We're talking about Charles River Street. They obviously did a pretty thorough rehab on the place, so we brought it up to where we thought it should be. And then in looking at the comps, comp number 1 is a house that we had put a discount on it for functional obsolescence, which means it's, pretty old and beat up. Has
The one on the corner. I know this house.
okay, since been, they've done some rehab. Comp number 2 has a discount on the land, also has a discount on the building. That was remedied by a permit in 2016 to some extent. The comp number 3 had some, had a lot of work done on it. It is about to go on the market. And we had bumped it to $1.1 million after the permit work was done. And I've outlined these on pages 6, 7, and 8. I've outlined some of the what I found with the comps that he brought up. And again, one of them has a major easement. And that easement, if you look at page 7, that easement runs directly across the property, very close to the house, which limits, any kind of expansion they could do on that house. Or even if it were a tear down, whoever buys it and goes to rebuild is gonna be limited by that sewer extension because they can't build anything on top of it. 113, oh, go ahead.
The easement, is that the easement of the guy filing? Oh, no, that's
No,
locust.
the easement is owned by the town. They have the right, it's a sewer easement.
Yes,
So should there be an issue with the pipes running through there, the town has to be able to go in and remedy it. So
right, I got it, I got you.
they can never, if somebody were to tear the house down, they can't build over that. Or if the guy were to want to expand the house, somebody buy it and expand it, or he expanded, he's extremely limited because of that easement.
And that goes out towards Charles River Street.
Yeah, that's Charles River Street running in front of it there. You see Locust, this is, the house because you pass it every day.
Yeah, I know that. I know
Okay.
that.
But again, he's not filing, but the guy who filed is using that house as a comp,
Right,
which, as far as I can see, it's not really comparable. The next comp he uses is 113 Country Way. There've been minimal upgrades to that property over the years. Even though it does still have a similar value, $1.1 million versus $1.2 million, where the property who files just had a pretty major upgrade. And on page 8, let me find it here. Page 8, permits are going to add $430,000 to the value of that house. That's 299 Charles River Street. It's sold, or the permits you can see are 350,000 and 80,000. So it's not really a comparable either. It's a mess now, obviously. That's why I use it as a comp. But it's smaller than his property. It's 2,440 square feet versus 1,800. 248 Charles River has 1,850 square feet of finished basement versus nothing in the other guy. So it's just not a real usable comp. And then the last comp I have on there is 200 Charles River Street. Finished area is 2,100 versus 2,440. Finished basement is 390 versus 1,850, but it's still sold for $1.1 million. So,
But I thought 200 Charles River was assessed at 897.
it is. But that's a recent sale and it's something that's probably going to get,
So that hasn't changed. So.
no,
'cause
that's going to go up for 23.
So I had written down that I like the comps that they gave, but what you've just presented is that they're all going to be definitely higher. The adjustments haven't been made yet.
Some
the
of them are,
building
some of
permits
them
and
are
the sales.
flawed, like the 749 Charles River Street just has a permanent flaw in it.
yeah,
And that's assessed for 920, 900, 749 Charles River,
I'll take your word for it. I gotta find
or
it.
1.1.
Yeah. I mean. Where are we? 740. Actually, I don't have the assessment in front of me. Let me see here. Let me just check the assessment on 749.
Yeah. The other one was 299. I thought those were comparable until you just stated what you stated, because they were in the same neighborhood. So I thought maybe that they should get something.
Well, as I say, the other ones have issues that they used as comps, so. I'm going to Charles River now. Give me one
Okay.
second. Yeah, he's in 920. And that's basically because of the easement.
Okay.
And the other thing I have in here is page 5. I got some comparable sales. Properties are in different neighborhoods except for the 120 Locust. But their properties are about the same size, have fair amount of finished basement. They're all got pretty high grades. And, you know, this one sold for $850, but again, there's a big permit after the sale. And you can see what the ones that are similar in size, even in lesser neighborhoods, sold for in the last couple of years. So again, it's your call, but you know, the evidence is there.
I didn't like that page, Chip, that page with the 3 comps because of the neighborhood.
Yeah,
They're-
oh, I know
they're
that.
newer and they're less valued.
Well, what I'm saying, because they're lesser neighborhoods,
Right,
you would think that they would sell for less money because they're not on acre lots. The 120 Locust is obviously the best comp. That sold for 1,275, and that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So, and the market's been going nothing but up. And the
Just a little,
what? Yeah,
just a little.
Hold on, 120 Locust, that's my neighbor. Let me see if that's the, 120 Locust.
Hey Stan, you know, in our hood, you know what happened with that house down the road on, what does it look up? Utica? You know, that house that's been constructed over the last like year and a half? Did you hear
Yes.
you heard what happened?
no,
Put it on for 1.7 and it sold for 2.2, 2.1 or 2.2.
2.2 on Utica.
Stairs, it's on Sachem, looks right up at, I think it looks right up at what'll be the new construction there at Muzzy, or it's just, maybe it looks up just across the street from that. And it's,
no, I didn't see that.
it just ran through the roof, 3 bidders. Anyway, it didn't close yet. So we just know the owner, we know the owner.
That's incredible.
We have something on Utica.
We have a
Listen,
Utica,
it-
yeah. It's one of the, I don't know if it's
Oh.
in today's pile or not, but 21 Utica is,
Number 48.
right.
Okay.
Two
And
things.
this is Station address, but yeah.
Yes,
Speaking of sales, there's a house that just came on or is coming on Meeting House Circle. Just, you know, all those meeting house circles?
Yeah.
They're all split levels.
yep,
It's very nice, like from the street, the curb appeal is just like a 19, whatever, 50s, 60s split level. But it has an extension on the back. The pictures look great. It's all redone inside, but it still just looks like a white and brick vinyl siding split level from the street. 1.8.
nothing surprises me anymore.
And the other thing is this Locust Lane one for 850. I walked through that house like during the open house, and it was someone bought it and like redid the whole thing and sold it. It was I mean, it was
Where are you
pretty
seeing
updated
850?
inside.
Where are you seeing 850 on Locust?
Sale price 850. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong column. Locust Lane, sale price
Yeah.
1.2. I was looking at the wrong. I was looking at 850. Sorry. So
Yeah,
they
1,
paid
2,
for that. All right.
1275.
1275. A lot of work went into that, I will say.
Well, I think that's kind of the same story. This guy bought the thing for 850, put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we now have it at $1.2 million.
So
And actually,
Chip,
Stan,
oh, sorry.
you know, Stan, you talk about those lesser neighborhoods. The land values are in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Because we don't have as high a land value and on the Charles River Street guys.
But Chip, I take it, I can't remember the exact test on this because we generally have a clear grant or deny, maybe clearer, but I assume that the taxpayer's burden has the burden here. The burden is not just to show that we could have exercised or you could have exercised discretion or judgment differently, but that whatever it's been, however it's been exercised is wrong, right? It's not just a burden to show, hey, you could have reached this number, you could reach that number in a range. Isn't there some burden to show that what's been done is wrong?
Yeah, that basically that we are not reflecting the market in
Right.
valuing the property. That's why I do these comparable sales to see if similar houses, see what they're selling for in comparison to the filer's value.
And are they forbidden from coming back for a while if they can make a better case?
Oh, no, they can, if we deny them, they can file at the appellate tax board. They have 90 days to do that. And then the appellate tax board, will take up their case.
But also, if they don't appeal that, let's say there's a sale this week that supports their numbers. Say we deny this, and then there's a sale this week that would better support what they say. There's nothing to prevent them from coming back again, right?
To file again next year?
Yeah,
Yeah, they could do that, but remember, we're looking at sales from calendar
2020.
year 20 primarily.
sure. No, I understand. I understand.
And the way the market's going now, they're not going to get any sales that are going to help.
Right, I get that, and so I guess my reaction is just the way we're looking at this. What's been done here is justifiable, me, and they just haven't met a burden of showing that a different result should have been reached. They
That's
might
how
not
I
be as
see it.
far off. They might not be as far off as some of the other applicants, and that might give us some hesitation, but it's just not pushing the needle.
Yeah, I mean, the comps are just not real comps because they're to
They
a
have-
certain
yeah, I
extent, they're
know.
all flawed.
It's like our pitching staff on the Red Sox without Chris Sale or something. It's like, you gotta know, like, if these were their third and fourth comps, and there was a really good one, those might help support that there wasn't an aberration, but they
Yeah.
just don't have a comp that pushes it over the edge.
No, I mean, they basically found properties in the neighborhood that had values that worked and used them without really looking into why they had those values.
Chip, I've ended up, the comps that I like that he presented, you sort of like changed my opinion on that. So I vote, make a motion to deny.
Seconded.
Third,
Okay. Got another 10, 15 minutes here. Okay, we got number 36. And actually, we can do number 36 and number 39 almost at the same time because they're both utilities, they're N-Star. And just for a little background on this, the Department of Revenue had decided with, in concert with the utility companies, that they were going to be valued a certain way starting in fiscal year 21. And they value them that way. I won't go into the methodology because I don't completely understand it either. But they supposedly came to an agreement with the Department of Revenue that they would be valued a certain way starting in FY21. In FY22, every town in the state had to value them through this method. So we had to pay our vendors about $4,000 because the new valuation computation is very complicated. And then the utilities turned around and filed abatements despite their agreement with the Department of Revenue on their properties. So the word has basically come out from the Department of Revenue for all boards of assessors to deny these.
So I would move to deny application numbers 36 and 39, consistent with positions taken by the DOR.
I'll second that.
all third,
So Chip,
Yes,
previously the Department of Revenue valued all the utilities. That changed 2 years ago. So now who the person doing the valuation is the personal property software vendor, RRC.
right. In our case, it's Brian Pelletier is doing the
Correct.
valuations. And he was one of the ones who helped work out the deal between the utilities and the DOR. And, then when they turned around and started filing on these things, it is what it is. It's going to be one of those long protracted battles like the phone companies. But, they're asking all the assessors to deny those applications.
I'll second Barry's motion again to deny.
yeah, third,
Okay, so we're number 38.
hold on a second.
Chip?
Yeah, Artie's disappeared here.
Oh,
He said, hold on a minute.
okay.
He's getting breakfast. He's
Bunch
back.
of papers, Bill. All right, I'm good. What are we doing?
Doing number 38,
Yeah,
which is a flashback again to Greendale Avenue, the medium-sized units. The comps are all the same. They are very numerous. And in this particular case, I'm gonna have, she's 94 years old. I am gonna have Nancy send me the exemption information because, you know, if she's gonna get any kind of relief, that's where it's gonna come from.
Chip, the only thing I wrote down 3 comps, and the only one that had a question on it was November 19th, 2020. And it's assessed that it sold for 305. And the square footage is 1,455 square feet.
You already asked this question. You already asked this question. This is the permit on the kitchen and the bathroom for 60 grand.
Oh, it is?
Same one,
yeah, the last one, right?
very last one. You look at the bottom to the
I
right.
can't read it. It's too, I need a magnifying glass now.
All right.
Oh,
I
but
should
that's
read it
what
to
the
you.
reason is, the
It's a
building
kitchen and
permit?
bath upgrade in 2021 after they bought it for
Okay,
$60,000.
gotcha.
So wait, what, we're gonna move to deny this, but Nancy will send her like, what, deferral stuff?
Information for all the exemptions, you know, senior exemption,
Yeah,
deferral. There's a program that's run by the town called Senior Relief.
Yeah.
We don't know whether she qualifies or not, but it's certainly gonna get her more relief than, you know, we can't really give her anything just based on the sales. So when we see that, you know, when she writes that she's 94, she may have $1 million in the bank and it's not gonna do her any good, but
right.
we'll certainly get her the information.
Gotcha. Okay, move to deny.
I'll second.
Yeah, I'm with you. I joined.
Okay, and for another flashback, number 40 is the same thing. Except it's one of the smaller units, which we did, got the comp sales. Again, this is a younger guy, so there's no exemption questions, but you know, we've got it at 260. He paid 223. That was 3 years ago. And we've got a bunch of sales that are, you know, exceed his assessed value. All of them do actually, except for the 2019 one. But no, actually, yeah, all of them except the 2019 one exceed his assessed value. So the market again is pretty obvious there.
Chip, I looked at 9/24/20, keeping on the same path of looking at sales from 2020. And that was a 315 sale, and it's less square footage than the subject. So I vote to deny.
Yeah, I agree.
I join.
Okay, and let me see what I got coming up here. Okay, I've got number 41. And this one is a granted simply because it's a mistake on our part when we were, and this is a commercial property, so it's valued on the income it produces. And somewhere along the line, when we were typing in the income information, we typed in $44.
Cupcake shop?
What?
This is the cupcake shop?
Could be. I don't know.
I think it is. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I don't know if it is or not. No, this is. Why don't I just look? I'll look at the picture. Hang on a second.
I think it's Babel's, or maybe it's Babel's and
I thought this was the one with the bank in it. Hold on, I just made a mistake. I just don't want to shut the meeting down by accident when I'm looking for something. I'm just going to pull that one up. I think it's the one where they used to be the laundromat. And they put the bank in there.
Oh, you're right. Yep, you're right. Sorry, go
Give up the
ahead.
picture to,
Chip, it's just a typo that you,
it's Anton's Cleaners.
Yep,
Yeah, okay. What it is when we were putting the rent amount in, we put in $44 a foot instead of 24. So I'm basically just correcting our error and adjusting the value accordingly.
vote to grant.
Barry,
Seconded.
Marty?
Seconded.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, next one is, we'll call this the last one and then we'll finish up the rest next week or whenever. Number 43,
43 or 42?
43.
What happened to 42?
Probably threw it into the pile for some reason. Yeah, I'm just, it's a little complicated. I'm gonna hold on to it.
Okay, so
I
40,
have 42 right after 43 in this pile, right?
Yeah, well, hang on to it. I decided I want to take another look at it. So we'll go to number 43, which is basically the buyer got a pretty good price for this house, but it's still, the sale price is within 2% of the assessment. We're at $1,433,000. They paid $1,400,000. We're supposed to be within 10% of the market, on an overall basis. We're within 2%. But if you go to page 5, you get an idea of the fact that this was a pretty good deal, because all the comps are from similar land value neighborhoods. The average, if you look under FY22 AV highlighted in red, you'll see their average assessed value is $1,557,000. And their average living area is 3188. This particular property, the assessed value is below the average at 1,433, almost exactly the same living area. Finished basements are similar. And then when you hit the sale prices, you can see what these similar properties have been going for, which
Mhm.
kind of tells you this guy got a pretty good deal, which
Yeah.
is very rare these days.
Chip, I agree with you what you said, and I'm gonna vote to deny, but the three comps that I marked down were sales from 2020, 4 Don't Ave, $1,450,000, 48 Hawthorne, $1,600,000, 57, $1,600,000, and like 48 Hawthorne is less square footage, and it's at $1,600,000. So I vote to deny.
Okay, I just realized I put 4 Dunn Avenue in there twice. That changes the average a little bit, but not much.
I second that.
Is the number's still about 2%, 3%?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we got it at 1,433 and they paid 1,400.
But
So-
I think with what you've said, as the standard that we're supposed to be within 10%, they've basically applied saying we did our work.
Yeah, the 10%
I'm
standard.
assuring you, you're not only within 10%, you're within 2%, which just, again, doesn't really meet a burden of saying we're off by a material amount. So I'll second the motion to deny.
Third,
Okay, why don't we call it there? If I can get some possible dates so we can finish up the season the next time around.
Hey, question for you. We,
Yeah.
not related to any pending applications, but we have something between a half dozen and a dozen of these ADUs that have been approved in town. Have you been doing any assessments on how those affect the value of houses? I have the acronym right?
Now,
Like
most of them are, they're add-ons, right? Where they've added on.
Well, you don't, technically, it might
Or
not be an
converted.
add-on. You could just, I guess you could close off a wall in an existing place. Right now, the rules are we're allowed to, in Needham, you're allowed to have a relative or a caregiver in a separate unit on your property, but it has to be like a
Right.
relative or caregiver. And that means they can have their own stove, their own, whatever it is that makes a unit separate from another unit, right? There's a push coming in to make ADUs the norm, not just for that, but basically turn every house in Needham into a two-family that way, a potential two-family that way.
Okay,
And you'd be
what it's
able to
gonna
rent out
add-
a,
Okay.
what's that?
No, I was gonna say, what it's gonna add, assuming you're not putting an addition on, you're doing some kind of conversion. Okay? Of
Right.
turning the family room into,
Put up an extra wall.
grandma's
and door.
apartment.
Yeah.
All you're gonna really add is the value of a second kitchen.
Is that, or do you add a rental stream?
No, there's a rental stream. The values are so high in Needham, doing it based on cost and plus land, that the rental stream is gonna lower the value dramatically.
Will
Because,
it? Because, I mean, the pitch on these is that it will make housing more affordable because people will be able to come in knowing they can rent a unit in their house. Now,
But it's gotta be to a relative, right?
No, but I'm saying, okay, that's where so the push now, one of the planning board candidates and a group in town believe that the rules should change so that you can turn them into full-fledged independent units and rent them out
So like two families.
as a two-family. But the idea is if someone wants to come move to Needham, prices have gotten out of control to many. And you could come in with these out of control prices, but still rent out a 1-bedroom unit in your house and knock down your mortgage so you can get in. And I'm wondering if assessment wise, we would be turning around then and considering every house to have either a stream of rental value or something else. Obviously, 2 condos could exceed the value of one house of the same size and what you'd expect to see them sell for.
2 rented condos, you mean?
What's that?
You mean 2
Well, I'm just
rented?
saying theoretically, if I were knocking down my house and I put up 2 townhouses, I might sell 2 townhouses of the same size for more than one house.
But you gotta be zoned to do that.
Like,
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
So if we were to change the rules in Needham, so these ADUs can go to people other than relatives and caregivers, and it basically makes every house a potential 2-family house. How would that likely affect assessments?
I don't think it is, because the income stream is not gonna come anywhere near in Needham's market what the cost of these things is gonna be on the open market. For example, if you got, and I'll try to do the math fast. If
Okay,
you're renting your prospective condo for $10,000 a month,
it's a lot.
okay? Which is very, very high. Okay, so
Right.
you got, excuse my noise here. You got $120,000 in income
Right.
for that year. You have to allow for vacancy. So I'm gonna allow for 10% vacancy. So I'm taking 90% of that 120 grand. And it reduces it. Then you have to allow for your expenses for to maintain that property.
Okay.
Okay. And the
So here,
standard-
let me reframe it. I see where that's going. Let me reframe it. So let's say I own 2 properties right next to each other. Both have a 3,000 square foot house. And one of them, exact same land, exact same everything, 3,000 square foot house. One of them I keep as the 1 family without an ADU. The other one, I realize for either one, but I only do with one of them. I can close off a wall, put a new door on. Nothing else changes. Size of the house. I guess I would have a second stove, a second kitchen,
Yeah,
but otherwise the houses are identical. but I know I can move into the one, and because I'm sacrificing 800 or 1,000 of the 3,000 square feet, I'm able to generate, I think the rental income on it might be more like $1,500 a month or
Yeah.
$2,000 a month. So I'm able to generate some $1,500 plus a month. Those two houses, do you think they end up assessed the same way? Or is there, I mean, I get there might be some immaterial amount for having an extra stove, but is there anything about the rental income that gets taken into consideration?
I wouldn't think so.
Depends on the
Not on an
numbers.
income stream, because I think you're actually, by messing with the house with the ADU, you're lowering its value on the open market. You know, because somebody's gonna have to come in if they want to buy it as a single family and reverse what you've done to create the ADU.
Sure, because I mean, if I'm looking at buying both, one of them I know I might be willing to pay more because I know I'm going to be getting back 1,500 a month.
I
Right?
don't
Not
know.
everybody, I think most people don't want a person living in their house that's not.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
we're not
agree.
we're not in Chelsea. So I mean, another town might.
Not
make it-
yet. Not yet, fellas.
Not yet. But I think, you know, there's no way on earth, even as I'm saying, at a $10,000 income stream, that you're gonna hit the value that we have at this point on the open market for these properties. The land is just worth too much.
I guess what I'm wondering about, this is becoming an issue. Two things are becoming an issue in this planning board election. One is this, whether every house should be able to have not just an ADU for a caregiver or relative, but also for just ability to rent anyone, a student, anybody. And the second is whether or not we're going to be eliminating single family zoning more so than the state might. You know, the state has actually said within a half mile of, it's taken steps so that within a half mile of any commuter rail, areas automatically become multifamily zoning. You can't maintain single family zoning with a certain amount. So some of this stuff is going to change. And I'm wondering just, I guess it's, I get it. What you're saying is a practical matter. You think these, two properties and houses that look identical, except one has a built-in ADU that can be rented out to a separate person. You're saying people will pay less for that, you think?
I would
I-
think, so.
I think so.
And again, I'm guessing, I would think so.
It just drives down value,
At
which
least in the
supports
current
the,
market we have here.
which supports the equity argument that's being made that it would help ensure affordable housing, but so would putting garbage dumps in the middle of a neighborhood, right? Like if we if we take the nicest area of Needham and throw a garbage dump in the middle, it will knock down values. Not every action that can make housing more affordable is a positive one, right?
Right.
All right, that was interesting. I just want to know if you had any experience with that or if anything's come up with the houses that have ADUs, but right now it's just for family and caregivers, so it's
Yeah,
not.
and again,
not a
all
big-
we would add would be the extra kitchen at this point.
Right,
Okay. I haven't seen a whole lot of permits for that anyway.
Well, watch
be
for
more-
those issues. Watch for those issues, fellas. This could be an interesting debate coming up on some of this stuff.
Yeah,
Anyway, as far as the next meeting, next week at some point,
Monday's good for me.
that's the 14th.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm just looking.
Oh,
I'm open on the 14th.
Okay, so we're looking at 8 o'clock on the 14th.
Could I just add, would it hurt anyone to start at 8:15? Because that gets me, if I rush the child
I'm
drop
fine
off
with
and it
that.
falls on me, that's great. Because my wife started working on Mondays and so I've forgotten about that, and 8 just gets harder because they don't take the kids until 8:05 if I get to take the drop off.
Okay, so 8:15, Monday, the 14th.
that works.
All right, I will,
Are we still Zoom?
yeah, we may as well. I mean, it's better than cramming us all in here, and it seems to be working out.
Okay.
All right, so I'll get it
When I was
posted.
having, when I was having trouble finding the link, I was thinking, did I screw up? Because I know that there was, I think Dave sent around an email that said the right to use Zoom has been extended. And then there was also like, the things that popped up was cancellation and this, I'm like searching for it. And for some reason I didn't, it took a little bit to find it. So, all right. Zoom is fine with me. It's easier.
All righty. And
Hey,
we will,
folks.
see you guys next Monday. Barry, did you get the email about coming in to sign that thing? If you get a chance? It's something that needs an actual blue ink signature.
I'm heading, just stop in the office. Where do I go
Yeah.
in?
Nancy will have it sitting here. It just, it's a lien that we have to record on a property that is deferring their taxes. We need an actual signature because it goes to the registry. I think Stan's already got
Okay.
it signed. Doesn't have to be today, some point.
It might be easier. I have to drive something down to the UPS store if I can. Actually, no, it may have to be tomorrow. I have to go downtown at noon. And that-
All
that
right,
might-
no problem.
All right, okay.
Hey,
Good
folks,
enough. We
I
will,
just, Chip,
Yes.
can I just give an update relative to the director position?
Oh, yeah.
So, as you all know, we're back out advertising. And as of Friday, even though we've been advertising for about a month, we don't have a single applicant. So I'm exploring creative ways of perhaps filling it, seeing what internal folks we may have available to give a consideration to the position. And I just want to let you know that, and if that is viable, I'll be reaching out to you all soon for interviews.
Okay,
Okay, great.
That's all I have.
Agreed.
All righty. We will see you popping by the office or this time next Monday.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
yeah.